In mid-April 2023, a group of 12 human rights experts and scholars from 8 countries including the United States and France visited Taiwan for the first time. The delegation, representing the Center for Studies on New Religions, Bitter Winter Magazine, and Human Rights Without Frontiers, in Belgium, holds an annual forum on human rights and religious freedom in different countries to promote human rights protection globally. They were assisted by Taiwan human rights think tank, the New School for Democracy and Citizen Congress Watch to arrange a series of visits. The first stop was at the Legislative Yuan, where the president of the Legislative Yuan, U.C. Kuhn, delivered a welcome speech, expressing gratitude for the experts' efforts to promote human rights and religious freedom and highlighting that Taiwan's human rights, freedom and democracy have been increasingly recognized by the international community.
According to Freedom in the World 2023, Taiwan received a score of 94 among 210 countries and regions, tying with Germany, Iceland, Estonia, and Chile for 17th place, ranking as a free country. This score is second only to Japan in Asia, completely breaking the myth claimed by former Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew that human rights and democracy are Western imports and not suitable for Asian countries.
Social and religious scholar Massimo Introvigne has long been concerned with human rights and religious freedom issues worldwide. In addition to acknowledging Taiwan's efforts, he emphasized the need to strengthen hard-won democratic and freedom values to effectively resist the unstable international situation. Introvigne called on the Taiwanese government to maintain dialogues with its people to resolve issues, and the Taiwan case, which has been discussed by many European and American experts, presents the best opportunity for the government to provide assistance.
I participate in several international religious liberty events, and I always appreciate the commitment of Taiwan for international religious freedom. I also focus on violations of religious liberty in mainland China, and as I mentioned in each part of the world, there are still issues to be resolved. For instance, in many international conferences, while Taiwan is generally praised for his attitude to religious liberty, there are sessions about the case of the spiritual group called Taiwan. From my experience, I can only say that in a truly democratic country as Taiwan is, problems are normally always solved through dialogue between all interested parties.
Just now, Professor mentioned the issue of Taiwan. I will continue to pay attention to this issue. I believe that each of your countries is a democratic and advanced country. How can the Parliament help Taiwan, given that such an advanced system? If anyone has any methods, please provide them to me. I am willing to help Taiwan in accordance with the principles of separation of powers, democratic rule of law, and respect for judicial independence, as practiced in the countries with rule of law.
Taiwan is a bastion of democracy, of human rights and liberty. This is why we should always defend the role that Taiwan is playing here. There may be some things to fix also in Taiwanese democracy as to respect of human rights and religious freedom, but no one is perfect. When you have problems, if you follow the dialogue way, problems can be solved. If you go to conflict, you have wars, you have warfare, you have persecution that is not good for anyone.
In general, Taiwan is one of the very good countries in terms of freedom of religion or belief. But of course, any country can have issues, and they can come from the past. An example in Taiwan, which I repeat, I think is very good in general, but they have this issue with Taiwan. And the problem with Taiwan is there has been, for sure, in the past, in the 90s, huge violations of human rights and an aggressive behavior against a new religious movement, Taijimen. The problem is that the consequences of this period are still here. So there is a need to find a political solution.
The prosperity of a country depends on the protection of its citizens' rights. After the lifting of martial law, Taiwan must unite the society through dialogue and a solid monitoring system and lead the people towards a more stable and sustainable future.